Hello everybody and welcome to my stream. This evening, I'm going to be doing the Mars 2020 Atlas 5541 Perseverance rover mission, as I'm recreating it here in KSP. Took a while to get this ready, but go and see what happens. This thing has been cracking bait from the start, but I think I finally got it down. Got the build, the 4 outer boosters, the 4 inner engines for the central stage. I had to put a lot of RCS on it to compensate for some problems I was having. Just to get a look at the innards here, inside of the first fairing stage, we have the Perseverance vehicle itself, the upper stage of the Atlas, that will deploy the Perseverance rover to Mars or Duna in this. Created a nifty little, forgot what it's called, the sky crane. Created a nifty little sky crane that will extend this hydraulic cylinder down as it slowly lowers the rover down to the surface of Duna, or Mars, Duna, and then, of course, once it hits the dirt, it's going to disengage the docking port here and take off away from the rover, leaving the rover on the surface to do its mission. I did not include the little tiny helicopter. It's almost impossible to do that on the PS4 with stock parts and everything and make it fit right under there like that. It's not going to happen. So I chose not to do that. Otherwise, everything else is good to go. And of course, it's supposed to set up the trajectory to Mars or Duna and deploy it from there and kick off from here. But I'm going to try to do that and see if it's possible to slow down enough and get down through the atmosphere and land. If not, I'm going to have to revert back and continue on with this stage to Duna in orbit and then deploy it from Duna in orbit down to the surface. But either way, we're going to make it happen. So before I do that, I'm going to make sure I got all the staging good to go real quick, because this game is known to alter the staging whenever you leave and come back to the VAB, or reload the vehicle in the VAB, or reload it from the launch pad. So just going to check all that out real quick before we kick things off, and that will give some people some time to get here if anybody is choosing to watch. If you're choosing to watch after the stream, thank you for watching. Anyways, let's get down to business. Aha, okay, I'm already seeing one thing that needs changed. These need to kick off first. Okay, now that we've got that squared away, let's move on. See, that'll kick off, and then it'll be time for these 4 engines up here. And then once I'm done with those will kick off these Separatrons. Very good. That'll give room for the chutes to deploy as this lowers down into the Duna atmosphere with the fairings protecting it as well as the heat shield. Once we hit that point, it'll be time to kick the heat shield. There it is. Cool. And then it'll be time to disconnect the sky crane. No. It'll be time to disconnect the fairing protecting it as well as the parachutes. And that is right there. Yeah. And that'll also engage the 4 engines for the sky crane. Have to move very quickly at that point. Lowering down the hydraulic cylinder so that the rover can get down to the surface, and then kick that off and deploy the rover. Good to go. Okay, so not much was changed. That's good. Just need to return to the Space Center now and set up the launch window to Duna. I tried to do that offline before I went out to go grab something to drink and stuff like that, but game crashed. The game crashed on me. It might have saved it, it might not have. Hopefully it did. If not, then I'm just going to take a minute here to set up this launch window. And for anybody keeping track, I've been playing a game called The Outer Wilds. totally recommend it. It's one of the most profound experiences I've ever had with a game. And you can check out the game in one of my most recent playlists or my most recent uploads. I just finished a full playthrough and I'm doing some trophy hunting now. I've only got 2 more trophies left to get, and that's completing the codex entries or whatever it's called. Basically, going to every location, completing everything that you can possibly complete in the game. I had to get that trophy, and then I'm going to restart the game and finish it in one time loop to get that last final trophy, getting the platinum trophy for that game, because I love that game. You should totally play it, and I only get platinum trophies on games that I really enjoy. So I'm going to be retitling that series a 100% playthrough too. And if you're interested in seeing a 100% playthrough of a very great game, check out Outer Wilds and check out my streams of it that I just had recently. I've got 1, maybe 2 streams left to go on the trophy hunting, and then I'm going to be done with that game. Be getting back to a lot more KSP content, and I'm probably going to stream Batman Arkham Knight. It's the first game I ever had for the PS4. Finally got a hold of it again. I've been really wanting to play that, and I'm gonna try to find some time to fit that into a stream, a let's play or something here pretty soon. Still need to finish Outer Wilds and do some stuff here with KSP, but look forward to that as well. And we're just waiting for this launch window to Duna to open up so we can start the mission. In the meantime, what else? Cool update on some things. I am going to be switching to Twitch. Actually, that's something I needed to talk about. Where I mentioned I'm going to be doing another KSP 101 series. It's going to be a 102 series. 101 at the basics, just going through all the missions in career mode and stuff, but it was on normal. I'm going to be playing on moderate difficulty. I'm not going to be going on a mission by mission basis with KSP 102, and I'm going to be doing it on Twitch, but I am going to be trying to archive those videos on Twitch to move them here to YouTube as well if I can. We'll see what happens. I'm trying to expand my horizons and broaden things up a little bit and try to do a little more. I think Twitch will be a great platform to do that, but I'm not going to stop doing things here on YouTube. I'm going to be doing both. It's going to be a little more complicated, going to take a lot more. I've got nothing but time anymore now. Alright, so we almost have the launch window set up here for Duna. It's almost time to kick that warp off and start the mission. Just waiting on those lines to line up there. And be right about there. Alright, time to launch. Let's get back out of the tracking station, back to the KSC. And we're going to take it from the VAB. So let's head back into the VAB, check the staging and everything again, make sure it didn't change anything. Just in case the game crashes, I'm going to quick save. Hopefully it doesn't crash. If it does, I'll leave this video up and make it a part 2, but it's pretty hefty. It's one big old rocket. Good evening, Uncle Pie. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Hope you enjoy what you're gonna see. Alright, let's check the staging real quick. Make sure everything's hunky-dory. And it always does that with these Separatrons. Alright, we got that in order. These Separatrons, however, decided to stay okay. That's kind of weird, and so did those. Alright, everything else looks good. Let's launch. Save. Down to enjoy it. Hell yeah, dude. I hope everybody does. I hope everybody does as much as I do, because I've been working pretty hard on this. It's been cracking bait for a very long time. I think I finally got past that. So it should be a good mission. There's one other article of concern, and that is the first fairing. Whenever I deploy it, 9 times out of 10 it kind of blows the central lift stage away from the vessel, and that kind of presents a problem. But I think I fixed it. So in fact, I'm going to test it right now, and after I test it, I'll revert and get it to day side so we can see the launch. Alright, cool. No explosions. Everything's good. Everything looks good. Alright, I think we're fine. Alright, let's revert back to launch. Time warp to the day side. Kick the tire and light the fire. Let's light this candle. this is gonna be fun. Like the Moon Day 2020, that was fun. It's always fun to do a Saturn V, but this is something different, something new. It's Mars 2020, baby. I mean, the hype is real. What do we have, like 6-7 months until it's time for it to get there? I cannot wait for that. There's like 6-7 minutes of anxiety-inducing panic and terror as they are waiting for that thing to be sky-craned down to the surface and tethered and disconnected from that line and landed. You don't really get to experience that often. It's going to be one hell of a time. It's a hell of a time to be alive. Pointy end up, flamey end down. Damn right. And as always, we are going to try our damnedest to fly safe. Alright, let's get a good view of this. I think that's probably a good view. Let's rotate it so we can see the KSC. Alright, there's the NASA flag, KSC. This vessel, this should be a little more orange than it is, but that's okay, it's KSP, and we're playing stock on PS4, we're doing what we can. Enough of the babbling. Let's launch this thing. Staying stable. Staying stable. Alright. Good so. Opted to use liquid fuel boosters for the outer staging instead of using solid rocket boosters because this thing weighs a lot and we don't have the solid rocket boosters that we need in the stock console version to be able to do that. So I had to do what I had to do. I think it still looks pretty. I think it'll still do the job. That's what matters, right? It's still in there. This stuff. Turn them over. Max volume down a touch. Yeah, I have a lot of vector engines going right now. Typically there's more than 4 there. There's actually 12 kind of snuck in there to make it work. I'm going to do that right now. Let's go ahead and head to the settings and turn that down. Let's see. That's spacecraft. I'll take that down to about 15%. Everything else should be good there, right? Hopefully 15% will do the trick. Let's turn that down a little bit too. Alright, let's get back to the mission. I'm playing this in my sandbox file that I use for Sandbox and Chill, that new series that I started recently. The settings are fairly realistic. There is signal for control on. I'm not sure if I have plasma blackout on or not, actually, now that I think about it. It's kind of terrifying. Alright, sweet. The extra ground station should not be enabled either. There's a little bit of frame rate drop. It's actually a heavy frame rate drop. It's like 3 frames per second, I'd say. And again, this thing is like nearly 400 watts. Hefty. Once we get through the launch stage, get rid of those 4 boosters, and then get rid of the central stage, and deploy the actual Perseverance vessel itself. Should be fine. So once I get to this 90-degree angle, we will move on and swap over to maneuver now. So we can just stay in this view and get that back up to 90-degree HDG and back down to it. Come on, look. What's up with that? That's the frame rate. Today. There, now we're starting to get some sparseness. Thrusters are open. Maybe better than that. Alright. This is such a thing. circularize with that central stage and kick the fairings and circularize with the central stage, kick the fairing. Make sure to get rid of that central stage before we fully circularize, that way it doesn't stay up and once there, we need to set up the launch trajectory into the Dunan atmosphere, then kick the payload and see if we can make it happen that way. If not, we're going to have to revert, so we'll make a quick save at that point. And if it doesn't work, we'll go back to the quick save and go to what I would say is actually the easier way. How much delta V do we have left in this stage? 937 meters per second. And we should have somewhere here 1700 meters per second delta V remaining in that central stage by the time we reach that point. Didn't fully test it. I've tested it to orbit around Kerbin as well as re-entry, which the re-entry was kind of tough, kind of rough, but I think it'll work a bit. I think it'll work out just fine. That avalanche is barely making any gains, but I think we're going to be okay. We got tons of delta V. We have too much delta V, but that's the point. Alright, now we're starting to reach max Q. Looking good. Halfway to the desired avalanche's point. Just about. I know it's only at 35K, but that is technically really halfway the desired point, because from here on, that apoapsis is going to fly up in the numbers. We are now in the upper atmosphere. And then more thrust coming out of those vectors and those mammoth engines. Mastodons, mammoths. Wait, there's a mastodon of mammoths right now. Where is that? Cursor. Afraid. Where it is. There it is. Okay. Alright, these four outer stages are being powered by, let's say they're called mammoths. Okay, it's been a minute. Okay, they are the mastodons. Alright, let's get rid of that cool. We need to go ahead and try to log onto that program, run the delta V on those outer stages, that way when we kick them, they don't act complicated on us. That HDG degree is one down, but that's fine. We can make it work. Look at that flame. Hope it doesn't explode on us. I think we're going to reach one under K. We are going to reach at least 70, so that's good enough. Once those run out, I'm going to use the vectors to push it just a little bit more. We're cutting the engines off and decoupling those outer stages. See, those should be running out right about now. Frame rate. Give it a few seconds until we're right about now. There we go. Now they're out. Avalanches at 85K. Got about 15 more to go. They're going to cut those engines. If we were to keep burning, even with those still attached, we would have at least 1500 meters per second of delta V remaining still, which is ridiculous. About 8 more kilometers to go. 7, 6, 5, 4, that's not enough. 3, 2, kick. Oh yeah, 100K. Got an idea. Put some lo-fi on just to educate me and Matthew. Actually, I don't think I have any lo-fi saved on my laptop that I'm running right now. I've got out some chill beats, which is kind of what lo-fi is. And it's the whole like YouTube video music streams of chill beats to do homework to or to study to, that whole thing. They're just really chill tunes. It's good for like hanging out in the VAB and building, but I prefer a different kind of music whenever I'm in mission myself. Alright, RCS, come on, keep us locked onto that prograde. Once we are through the upper atmosphere, I'll kick those side boosters. Hey, there's a little bit more frame rate. Get a good look at this vessel. We have 2.5 minutes until apoapsis is reached, so we can take a moment to breathe now and enjoy the frame rate gain. Such a beautiful vessel. Wish we could recolor things a little more correctly. I could have went with what is it, the 2.5 meter, but it wouldn't have been big enough for the rover and everything that I have up top. Plus, this is a little bit more realistic, I think. Anyhoot, I think we are clear of the atmosphere enough to be able to continue on, so I'm going to stage, see how this goes. Let's boost up a little bit to get away from those. Looking good. Now here's the part that always kind of makes me clench my butt cheeks a little bit. Every time I deploy the fairing, actually I'm going to do it manually because it seems to work out better that way. And whenever those RCS thrusters aren't firing off, there we go. Alright, let's deploy that. Ah, okay, thank God. Alright, fairing successfully deployed. So far so good. The rest of it should be cakewalk. Core levy, eat your heart out. Right, those things are huge! Pretty freaking sweet though, and the symmetry in their rotations as they are falling away. It's beautiful. Nothing beats a good core lev cross configuration. It's a beautiful thing to see. We have reached the Kármán line and we are now in space. Now we're just waiting to hit that apoapsis mark so we can circularize. I'm going to stay in this view right here too. See, we have monopropellant, we have electrical charge. Monopropellant is slowly going down. It's barely hanging on to that prograde mark, I don't know why. Let's do this. Let's go SAS and then prograde again. Come on, do what you're supposed to do. We're still fairly close to those fairings, aren't we? Or are they starting to get a little further away? So you can still see those side boosters tumbling away back there. There are the fairings. Beautiful. Alright. Should have at least another minute and a half or so to go until we reach the apoapsis. I don't want a time warp. I want this to be able to stay on the prograde mark as well as possible. If I time warp, it's going to take way too long to get back to it. In fact, I'm going to disengage the SAS, lock on the prograde, and go ahead and get this thing sideways, if it will let me. I gave it tons of monopropellant and tons of RCS thrusters to haul this hulking beast around so it can realign itself a little more easily. It doesn't have too many reaction control wheels going on. But once I get through this central lift stage, it'll be gold. It'll be a lot easier to manhandle. I think I can maybe time warp a little bit now. Safely. Okay, we're about 40 seconds away. Let's cancel that. And let's move this thing a little closer to that horizon mark. Hope the effects audio is still good now, especially now that the engines, all those engines aren't firing right now. Alright, let's try to walk right there. And let's start throttling up. How's that gonna put our T-minus? Okay, it's still counting down. That's good. Sweet. Okay, cool. Thank you. Still going down from 19. We're not boosting quick enough. Let's throttle to about half throttle. Especially now that we're getting close to the 10-second mark. Still not going quick enough though, is it? I don't know, it's kind of sticking on 15. Okay, now it's at 14. We'll stick to this amount of throttle until it reaches about 10 seconds, then we'll throttle up to about 75%. Let's go ahead and preemptively do that. How's it looking? 10 seconds and holding 9 seconds. So for every second in the countdown, I'm getting about 30 or 40 kilometers. I think it's going a little bit too quickly. I'm going to throttle down at about 2/3. See if we can get that countdown timer to start going back down again. And start to raise back up. Let's go down to 1/3. This is still going to increase that. Okay, there we go. I think we're good. Get as close to a nice solid 100 by 100 as possible. We're going to have to throttle down just a wee bit here. The thing is, I'm still going to have to circularize after kicking this stage. I'm going to have a very small window of time to do it. So, once the periapsis hits about, say, 23K, I'm going to stage, and then wait until I'm back at the apoapsis mark, and circularize from there with the third stage. Technically second stage, third stage, not sure which one is that. Alright, let's throttle down. About 5% impulse, or whatever it would be. Slowly picking up there. I think I might have enough time to grab another brewski. Okay, there we go. Hey, what's up, Paul? How's it going, dude? Welcome to the stream. Thank you for watching. Hope you've been doing good, dude. Never really did get to actually ask how your recovery's been. Okay, we've almost got this thing at periaps where we need it to be. Kilometers to go, then it'll be time to stage. Let's go ahead and do that now. Let's kick that off. Look at that rotation. Alright. Let's get rid of that stage. Looking good. Alright, now let's go back to prograde. Should be a little easier to make that lock happen now. We got about 8 seconds to do it. And we will circularize. Fantastic. See you later, central stage. We're going to Duna. Or Mars. Alright, let's go full throttle. Get this thing circularized. Nice and tight. Come on. Fantastic. Alright, now that we're circularized, let's check everything out here. Looks like those 4 outer stages have already... Nope, they still haven't made it back down to the surface. We could actually watch that if we wanted to. I'm going to do a quick save now that we're in orbit, and I'm going to swap to those. And we're going to watch those smash down into the surface. That's going to be fun. Got nothing but time, so we can watch those smash down, then swap to that central core booster stage and watch those smash, and then we'll set up our trajectory towards Mars or Duna. Here we go. Let's see where where those other 4 are, or other 3 are. There's 1, there's 2, so that means the other one's right there. Yep. Did you get to watch the whole landing? Oh, today for the Crew Dragon, man, I was up until like almost 8 o'clock in the morning. I haven't really been able to sleep too well with everything that's going on. So I missed the landing by an hour, but I got to see them get it onto the barge and go through the purging before opening up the hatch. So I'm really glad they made it. History-making stuff right there. And Crew 1, I cannot wait to see that. And Crew 2, their wives are actually going to be on Crew 2, which is pretty cool. Like the whole astronaut family thing going on, that's pretty awesome. Big step forward for NASA and especially SpaceX. I think they're supposed to reuse that capsule for Crew 2, which is the mission that's going to have both of their wives on it, if I'm not mistaken. That's going to be pretty freaking sweet. Okay, that thing should be exploding by now. Man, they are coming down hard. Let's see, where's a good view to watch all these? I think it was this one. Yeah, oh man, look at that. G-force! How's that not exploding? Barely see that other booster all the way out there. Can't really see it. Those 2 just made touchdown. Got these 2 left. Got that one about 4 kilometers away. Let's check it out. I think this one should touch down first, right? Oh, that one just made touchdown. Sorry, that was extremely loud. It always is when they make splashdown. I'm very sorry if it was. Oh, sorry about that. Got 1 more to go. Alright, so that's all 4 of the booster stages. Let's very quickly try to get to that central core stage so we can watch it go down. Okay, so we're gonna have to go to the tracking station to switch to that. It actually told me I could recover the vessel, what the heck? 7-seater, bring the kids. It'd be, just wait, about maybe another like 2 or 3 years when it's way more commercialized. Their entire family's gonna be able to go together. That's gonna be so awesome to see. I guarantee they'll do it. I would. If I was Bob and Doug, I would totally do it. Like, those 2 and their wives, they're all astronauts. Take the whole family, heck yeah. I cannot wait to see the dawn of that era, like where it's commercial spaceflight like that. Of course, we have Tom Cruise heading to space soon. He's going to be one of the first, I guess you would call it like a commercial passenger, even though it's for a movie or whatever. And the director, producer, or writer, one or the other, is supposed to be going with Tom Cruise, apparently. It's gonna be ridiculous. Anyways, splashing down like a rocket man. This is gonna be the big one. I hope we hit dirt with this one. I want to see a big explosion with this thing. Let's do a little time warp action. Get this thing down to the Kármán line. I think we're gonna hit dirt. I don't know, this thing's on a really like tight orbital line. It's going to be a nighttime landing too with this deorbit. If it even does, we got to watch that periapsis. Let's make sure the maneuver nodes are up so we can keep an eye on that. Is it going to let me? Can't do that unless it's got control, I guess. This thing should have control though. There's a probe core in it unless it got damaged. Imagine a school show and tell. That would be epic for the kids, right? Like, how many kids would actually get to say that? Like, I went to space with my mom and dad and their best friend and their wife or husband and so on. This thing is making an approach into the atmosphere kind of like Starship would. It's going to be interesting to see which way it tips over on its own without any control. It's do a little time warp. Get this thing down to the 30s. Oh, it should start to burn here within a few seconds. Should start to feel the burn. It's pointing its butt retro. It's gonna hit dirt like a rocket should. It's getting a little dark. Let's get rid of that so we can kind of see it a little better. How is it not burning yet? So I'm feeling it. There it is. There's the frame rate drop. So here we go. Got some burn action going on. Let's kick that time warp. Get rid of that user interface so we can see it a little better. Should start to dip back down a little bit, right? And I'm going to enable the time warp again, just to get through this a little quicker so we can get to the good stuff. I mean, who doesn't love watching booster stages land and explode coming back from space, right? But we need to get Percy to its destination. We've got a good launch window. It's not like we're in any kind of hurry. Just wish it was daytime so we could see it a little better. It's like the structural integrity of this vessel is starting to cracking out a little bit. That looks pretty interesting. Wonder if it'll make it all the way around to where we can get a dayside view of the landing. It's got a ways to go though. We can keep an eye on its altitude though. Yep, it's gonna hit dirt in the dark. If it even does hit dirt. Can't really tell though. Oh yeah, I think we're gonna hit dirt. I can kinda see the island line. Or the shoreline there. Yeah, it's gonna be right along the shoreline, but it's gonna hit dirt. Alright. Let's get a good view of this. On the beers, I'm on the coffee. 2:50 in the morning. Oh man. That's right. 3 hours left on the night shift. Oh, you're at work right now? Starting to see the G-forces rise. See, the closer it gets to about 1,000 meters per second, the closer it's going to get to hitting max G's. It's going to feel that burn until about then it's going to start to go back down a little bit now that it's in the lower atmosphere. There it goes. Let's get rid of that time warp. Get rid of this user interface so we can get a good view of this. I hope y'all can see it pretty well. I'll try to zoom out a little bit. Frame rate, 10 out of 10. Yeah, the launch frame rate. That was over 9,000. It would be awesome if KSP would allow programming to automate landings. Right, that would be so cool. Like, kind of meg-jebby, but you know, still okay. Let's see our altitude. Oh no. Oh, that's happened before. Sorry about that. Alright, that shouldn't happen again. Alright, we are about to make touchdown. And boom. A few seconds delay. Boom. There we go. Oh. Give us a good boom. Give us a good boom. Yeah. A little bit of a boom. Only one department running tonight. All maintenance work done last night so we could chill. Nice. My shiftmate is asleep. Got awake. Now this is something I don't like about YouTube. It doesn't show all of the comment. I'm guessing you have to wake him up here soon. Really enjoying MechJeb 2 for realistic overhaul. Makes life nice. I can imagine, like, I would honestly use it for like SpaceX landing scenarios and stuff like that. Like all the other stuff where you know, getting to orbit and all the mission related stuff I would have to do myself. Like that's the fun stuff. But automated landing with drone or probe powered booster stages and stuff, that would be cool to see, and it'd be meritable in how you would have to actually program it to be able to do that. Like if you could do that, that would speak for itself. And I don't know, it'd be really cool. Gotta wake him up at 5:30. And you said it's like 2:30 now, so you got a few hours to go. Alright, so there's all of our debris, all of our expendable booster stages. Where is Duna? I think Duna is right out there, right? And where's the Perseverance? Ah! It's right past where it needs to be to start its burn, so let's do a time warp and get that thing over there. It's time to go to Mars. MechJed 2. I didn't even realize there was actually a second MechJed. It's good for repetitive stuff, though it took all the fun out of the game for me. See, that's why I couldn't do it. Like, there's no fun in it if you're not playing it, right? Alright, let's go ahead and kick the time warp there. Oops. Okay, there we go. Now, let's get back in the pilot seat. Abuse it. Use it for everything. No self-control. I mean, play however you enjoy it. Like, that's the point of games, right? Just gotta have fun. If you're not enjoying it, there's really no point. I mean, unless you're making money, then. Like, that's me. I'm not here to make money. I'm just here to enjoy it. I don't know, switching to the Twitch platform, I wouldn't mind making a little extra dosh there, but, doesn't really matter to me, honestly. I'm just here to have fun, provide some good streams, just share the experience, all that good stuff. Oh yeah, let's get maximal crazy. Alright. Target mark is making its approach towards the prograde mark. It is almost time for us to burn to Duna. Let's set up a quick save real quick now that we've gotten through all that. Now again, at this point in the mission, it's supposed to boost out to Mars, set up that trajectory down through the atmosphere for it to make it down and land, and then disconnect from it and let it go on its own. Now I don't know if we can do that here with Duna, but we're going to try to. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to revert back to this specific save that I'm going to make right now, quick save 1. And if it doesn't work, we're going to revert back to quick save 1 and do it the easier way, I would say. It's going to require more work, but if it doesn't work, we'll take this whole stage out to Duna, make orbit, and then deorbit it, and land it that way. But it'd be really cool if this works out. I want to see it work out the way it's supposed to, the way it's being done in real life. Alright, but let's kick that fire, set up that transfer. Alright, this shouldn't take too long. The HDG is at 90 degrees, fantastic. Let's go ahead and zoom out, get that focus on Duna, and be prepared for that. I've already got a couple relays and another rover actually landed on Duna and the box of sand playthrough, save, whatever. So it's good to go. It's going to have total coverage on the network. Should not lose connectivity at all with this rover or this vessel. And same thing actually out at Eve. I can do some stuff out at Eve if I wanted to. So we're like 0.1 degree off. Be back in a minute. We'll tell you the altitude I used for EDO on Pathfinder for my Martian reenactment suite. I would love to find like the identical location on Duna to where this is actually supposed to be landing. That'd be pretty tight. Oh yeah, here we go. Let's check that closest approach, see what we got. About 5 million to go. Coming pretty quickly. Let's go ahead and zoom in on Duna. Get ready to catch that sweet spot. And let's go down a little bit on that throttle. Now we need to control the limiter a little bit from here. Let's put it down to about 7. That'll work. Let's bring it on in. How are we looking? I need to stretch the feet, enjoy the view. Okay. And we should get a line here in about 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, where's it at? I'm not seeing it. Where's it at? Okay, whoa, okay, that's pretty high, isn't it? Let's bring it in a little bit, and then we'll lower it a little bit. If I'm not mistaken, we have to burn the opposite of what it is, so let's go normal. Pointing up should bring it down, right? Or is that how it is? Process of elimination. We have the delta V, we can make it happen. What is it called though? The planatia or whatever it is that the rover's supposed to be landing at, or is that where SpaceX is targeting to land all of its stuff? I can't remember. Alright, let's see if we can lower that down. Yeah, let's get this going. Let's get a little close. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of a retro burn, I think. Try to get those lines lined up nice and flush, and oh wow, there's an encounter with Ike. Need to set the thrust limiter down just a wee bit more now to make this nice and tight. About 0.5, that'll work. Let's get a good close-up view, make sure these are nice and flush. Bring that down until it's right on, right about there. That should be a nice 90-degree entry to the Dunan SOI. So now we can go back to prograde and see about maybe getting rid of that Ike encounter. That is such an inconvenient place for that to be right now. Alright, let's try it. Oh wow, okay. It's gonna put us right, yeah, that's not good. I don't like that one bit. Hey, there's the other river. How we doing on the river? URV1. Periapsis 15K hit the atmosphere around 1930. That's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about coming in so hot without this stage that I have right now to be able to slow down. I've got that upper stage attached above the crane stage, which has like, how much delta V? 382 meters per second. But, man, Ike. Why you gotta be there, Ike? Get out of here, Ike. How can I do this without smashing into Ike, you know? See, if I go back to retrograde and if I burn just a little bit, Ike is gonna be there. And I don't like that Ike is gonna be there. It's the worst possible scenario. It's telling me I'm probably gonna have to take this stage with me just to make it work. That or go back to that save, make an orbit around Kerbin, and try it again. And I don't want to have to do that. Man, Ike, get out of here. We don't like you, Ike. Alright, you know what? I'm just going to run with it. I'm going to have to take this stage with me. Let's head to Duna and see if we can... Let's do the time warp. We're probably going to lose connection until we get close to Duna, though. Where is... I guess we got to get out of Kerbin SOI to be able to see that. Let's do that. And that should be close to the end of Kerbin SOI, right? Let's warp a little quicker. Once that time warp starts to slow itself down, and we've lost signal. But that's okay. As soon as we get back over here, we should have signal again. I hope. Alright, let's do the time warp. Once we enter Dunan SOI, we'll be able to see how Ike is going to affect us. We're going to be right on the edge. Enter Duna Sphere of Influence, retrograde, and radial out. Gotcha. Maintain periapsis at 15K until Ike buggers off. Out the way. Jettison booster stage. Roger that. Alright, let's run through that again. Retrograde and radial out. Maintain periapsis at 15K. So back and forth until... Gotcha. Okay. It's a nice deep dubstep remix of the theme song for the best 007 movie ever. A little bit of Skyfall. Cannot wait to see the new one. I'm glad that Craig is coming back for that one. It's gonna suck to see him leave. He's been one of my absolute favorite 007s. Sorry if you don't share the same opinion. If you do, awesome. But Craig is amazing as 007. And I gotta say, I love every single one of them, to be honest. Except for that one guy. What's his name? Timothy Dalton, I think. The dude who did, You Only Live Twice, I think. He was like a diet Pierce Brosnan before Pierce Brosnan was 007. I don't know. I want to see them do another 007 in the vein of Moonraker. I think it's about time they do another 007 movie themed like that. It's brought up by Brosnan, he'll always be my Bond. Man, his movies were so good. Towards the end, they kind of got a little funky. Like, what was it? Die Another Day. He's like a real gritty Bond. Like a real good, gritty, modern Bond. Brosnan definitely pulled off the suave, charismatic, sexy spy who loved me kind of Bond. Let's see, who else did we have? We had, God, what's his name? Sean Connery. He was great. My absolute all-time favorite, even though I just said Craig was fantastic, and he really is one of my favorites. I honestly have to roll back on that. What's his name? It's been so long. He was in Live and Let Die and The Man with the Golden Gun. What is his name? What is his name? Man, how am I having a brain fart? This guy is like one of the most iconic Bonds of all time. What is that man's name? I'm gonna have to look it up. Can't pull a wheelie on a lorry's tractor. Let's bring this down. We need to get that thrust limiter back up. God, I'm still trying to remember the name of that Bond and Live and Let Die and Man with the Golden Gun. What is his name? I really wish I could remember because I'm feeling like an idiot because he is such an iconic Bond. Oh, it's such an easy name. Hey, there we go. No more sphere of influence with Ike there. Oh, man, what is his name? I'm gonna have to look that up real quick while this is doing this burn. Man with the golden gun. I know you're a sir too, because I know you were knighted. Roger freaking Moore, man. Roger Moore. And now to bring the periapsis down. That's a good point, because I want it to be a daytime landing too. Alright, so let's go radio in. But yeah, Roger Moore, man. Roger Moore, Sean Connery, Pierce Brosnan, Craig, they were all fantastic. Roger Moore, man. That's the one I grew up with. Him and Sean Connery. Those are the two that I grew up with, and then in my teen years it was Pierce Brosnan. Holy crap. Okay, let's put the thrust limiter down on that. Yeah, I don't know what it was about Roger Moore, but I don't know, it might have been just the Bond films that he did, like Man with the Golden Gun, Live and Let Die. Those two are my favorite classic Bond films next to Moonraker, which was also Roger Moore. But you have Goldeneye, and you have Tomorrow Never Dies, The World Is Not Enough. Those are some fantastic films with Brosnan. The one with like Madonna and the whole like that General Zhao. I think it was Die Another Day. That one just kind of, it was kind of wonky, like a little B-rate compared to the other ones for me. I think you could totally tell that it was ending for Brosnan at that time. I need to get this down to what, 15k? Okay. Let's set the thrust limiter down a little bit. Best line in any Bond film. Of course you have like the iconic Bond, James Bond. But what was the name? Valentin Tchaikovsky. He had a line in Goldeneye that I'm never gonna forget, but I've already forgotten what it was. Whenever Pierce's Bond went to meet him at his like bar in that club, I thought Christmas only came once a year. That was a good line. That was a really good line. That was from The World Is Not Enough, right? Man, that was a really good. Oh, right there. There's the line. In that movie, the villain, when he says, "What's the point in living if you don't feel alive?" That was a damn good line. That was so fitting for the character. And then whenever she says that to Bond and he makes that connection, just it was so well written. That was such an iconic line. Like, especially for a Bond villain, iconic line. Like, there's no point in living if you can't feel alive. Ugh, shivers, you know? Like, it was a very interesting character in the way that he was being used and abused by her. And the fact that she was actually, like, the real villain and was responsible for everything in that. That was a really good movie. I want to watch that later. And Tomorrow Never Dies, like the media mogul villain in that was like, "There's no good news like bad news." Like nobody has ever said that line better. Like, the crude sex joke. There's a lot of those. What was it in Goldeneye? Whenever him and Moneypenny were like going down those like the mountainside, whenever he's in the Jag or in the Mercedes, it was one or the other. Whenever he like slams on the e-brake, power slides over to a park and pops it open, there's wine just chilling there in the center console. Like, "Oh, you're incorrigible, James." Alright, I think it's time to make re-entry. Let's go on ahead and do a quick save, and then we will go ahead and exit the time warp stage. Let's make sure that didn't affect the... Ooh, that did affect it a little bit. Let's go radio out. Let's activate those engines. And I don't want to smash into that. I really don't want to smash into that. Let's boost up just a hair. We've got time. We can make sure we don't smash into that at least. That's a little bit enough of that. Let's get a better song here. We're not going to smash into that, right? We're moving towards it slowly. Kind of having to match its speed. Hey, there's a good song to go with. Little Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. About 150 meters away. I think we're going to clear it. Let's go ahead and set that back up. 14.2. You know what? I kind of want to take it. Okay. Alright, here's what I'll do. I'm going to open all these up. Put their thrust limiters down to the T. Should make them all match. Should make it easy enough to pull this off. Still can't believe this is freaking Mark Wahlberg. He's never going to be able to live that one down. Anyways. Yeah, we're going to be able to clear that thing, so that thing's not a threat. Let's bring this on down to 15k on the dot. Come on, get it. Get it. Close enough. Okay, let's go back to retro and set these back up to full throttle. The top stage up here is for the atmospheric entry to be able to slow down, and then once we have slowed down sufficiently, we will kick those with the 8 separatrons attached to them, and then it'll be up to the fairings and the heat shield to get through the atmosphere. We will quickly have to At that point, we'll stage the chutes. They're all drogue chutes, got the one massive and then the 12 smaller ones. Technically not supposed to have those smaller ones, but I don't care. This is KSP, it's a little different. But then we'll be staging the heat shield next, which is with this docking port right here, attached to the structural girder. And then that is attached to, if I'm not mistaken, I can just aim the camera, get a better view here. Alright, inside of here we will see the structural girder attached to the docking port. And then that is attached to a Rockomax brand adapter 2, the 2.5 meter, which is then attached to the 3.75 meter heat shield here. And then the fairing will remain, and it is not staged as it is not supposed to be in real life. It stays. That'll go away and leave the bottom exposed for the rover and the sky crane to fall out of and disconnect from the parachute stage under the deorbital control stage up above that. And inside here we can see how that's going to work. I'll go on ahead and set the view to aim at this octagonal strut and plus this KSP run, I think. I did watch that. That was pretty cool. The sample return part, that was awesome. I kind of want to do that. I kind of want to like add on to this and try to make that happen. That's kind of why I put this here, to see if it's possible to make that happen. Oh crap, that's a cargo, that's not the science. That was supposed to be the container that collects all the science. I messed up on that. But alright, so here's our sky crane, and it's got a probe control so I can have proper descent with retrograde lock, and it will disconnect after extending this hydraulic cylinder so it can tether down the rover to the surface and then disconnect from this docking port attached down onto the rover, which is attached to this octagonal strut, the hydraulic cylinder, up to a structural part up here somewhere, if we can find it, the smaller FL85 adapter, which is attached to the probe brain. And then in here we have the 4 boosters, just twitch engines, very simple. So that's the game plan. Should be way easier to make work at Duna than it was testing it on Kerbin, but I did make it work on Kerbin, so it should work on Duna. Anyways, we have our lock. We can see Duna there on the horizon. Let's update the quick save in case anything goes wrong. Let's check out that periapsis. Still very close to 15K, looking good. Oh. Our signal should be nice and strong once we get closer too, because I already have a relay in polar orbit and a relay in equatorial orbit, so it should be pretty fantastic. And if I'm not mistaken, there's actually a relay attached to this rover, and all of them should be strong enough to go through the planet and still connect, actually, because there's like 12 dishes on every one of those. They're like mass relays. Alright, let's see how this goes. Let's go ahead and do a little time warp action. Put our focus back on the rover. About 2 days away. It's warping a little quicker. I'm gonna slow it down a wee bit. Haha, Ike. Haha, Ike. You're not in the way. Haha. Screw you, Ike. Alright, let's slow down. We're 20 minutes away from that now. Oh, a little instability there. Let's time warp and get some stability back. Okay, and we need to set this to surface mode too. That'll be pretty important. How's that looking? How's the trajectory on this looking? It's gonna go right past it too, isn't it? In fact, I'm gonna set it as the target so I can check that out. Yep, That's gonna go right out of the Dunan system. Alright, so let's unset the target now. We are passing the million-meter mark. Let's try to get a little closer. Once we're at about 120k, somewhere close between that and 200k, I'll cut the time warp, and it'll be game time. And 3, 2, 1, cut. Alright, nice view of the red planet. Everything seems to be in order. Those are back up at full throttle, right? Fantastic. Alright, how's our landing trajectory look? So if we start to slow down close to the periapse, looks like it'll be a fairly decent landing area. Unless it slows down too much and we land over here, it's going to be a little bumpy. It'll be a bumpy ride. Need to keep an eye on that altitude. See, aren't they supposed to be sending another mission, like, it's in conjunction with ESA and the Canadian Space Agency, right? Pretty sure it's those two space agencies they're going to be working with to send the mission for the vessel that's going to collect it and send it back up to orbit, and then the other vessel is going to capture it and take it back to Earth. But I can't remember if it's the Canadian Space Agency and ESA, or ESA and another space agency. A long way down. Good track. Because it is a long way down. Alright, how we looking? Everything lined up correctly. Let's try to get that nice and tight. Right about there. Fantastic. Nice and stable. Let's get that lock back on retro now. I've always made orbit around Duna before making the descent. I've never made a direct descent without making orbit like this. I don't like to do that. I like to have more control and a smoother entry. ESA orbiter that collects the samples and returns to Earth. Which one is being sent to, which space agency is sending the collector that's going to launch it back up to orbit? I'm pretty sure it's Canada. Oh man, we're already starting to feel the burn. Alright, let's reduce our speed a wee bit now. That'll shave off some speed, bring it down to close to 1100 meters per second. And we have how much delta V in the crane? 1400. I think we can make it work. Little wobble and bobble going on there, I don't like that. Let's reduce the throttle down to about half. Try to get a little more control out of that. And need to keep an eye on the delta V on that stage. Get a good shot of that. Cutscene. Okay. Could get pretty rough. And it's actually taking it down below 1,000 meters per second. Fantastic. Okay, I think we're almost out of delta V now. Time to kick that stage in 3, 2, 1, 0, and kick. Good stop. And it is safe to deploy those, and they need to be deployed sooner. I'm going to go ahead and activate the main if I can. Come on, deploy. Come on, you need to deploy. Well, this will give us time to start deploying all the other ones a little higher up too. which will be good. I really wish I would have set these a little sooner than this. Kind of feeling dumb about that. Ugh, this is so finicky. I've only got one side. I need to get that other side real quick before something happens. No. Okay, well that works. We can work with it. Time is against us. Come on, only 4 more to go. Oh, hey, come on now. Come on. Oh, don't do this right now. One more. One more. Okay, we can breathe a little bit for a second. How's that surface speed looking? Not bad. But it needs to be straight down before we can deploy the rover. That's the dangerous part. We need to go ahead and kick that out. There goes the heat shield, lose a little bit of speed. Hey, we got a rock to scan over there. Fantastic. Good landing. Looks like it's going to be a smooth spot to land. We are almost completely vertical. Once we are, it's sky crane time. Get a good view up inside there. Alright, we're cutting it a little close. I'm going to go ahead and save over quick save 1 and attempt to disconnect the rover and the sky crane now. Here we go. Okay, what's up with that? Come on. Ah, there we go. Alright. No, 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 no. Let's try to control that landing a little bit. And get that extended. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay. Come on. Get control, get control, get control. Okay. Switch altimeter to terrain. It is on surface. It is on surface, so we're good. As long as it's controlling from the crane, that's the thing that I'm most concerned about. That's gonna land, isn't it? That's pretty cool. I might drive over and take a look at it. Oh, or maybe not. Oh yeah, it did land. Hey, that's cool. Alright. Let's land this thing. Need to swap the SAS to lock onto SAS only now. Start to slow down a little bit more here. And kick it. Let's get this thing out of here. Alright, where'd it go? Where'd it go? It's probably gonna make orbit. Okay, so it should be pointing like that way somewhere, right? Where are you? Where'd you go, Sky Crane? You didn't leave already, did you? Okay, there it goes. So we have signal, so I'm going to try to switch back to that. Regain control. See how close we can land it back at the river. Let's turn it around if we can. Get ready to lock the SAS and fire it up. Never know though, not with this game, you never know. The Kraken always waits for a moment of weakness. Thank you though, thank you. I'm very happy to have got it done on the first shot at least. That'll save me some time tonight. Alright, let's try to land this thing close to that rover. So we can have everything all bunched up here. Oh, I need to stretch the feet, enjoy the feet. Alright. me do a little bit of time warp. Get this locked back on the retro. Pretty groovy. This is pretty groovy. Still have 93 meters per second of delta V. This thing is going down hard. But it's going to go down fairly close to that rover. I'll be able to do a little bit of a burn to point it that way a little more. Bring it on back around. Bring it on back around. This thing doesn't have any battery life at all, so let's try not to land it directly on the rover. That would be bad, right? Look at how close that is, though. Not bad. Not bad. Goodbye, Sky Crane. There's another one. Big pineapple. There's a little bit left of that. Hey, what's... Oh, okay. A fuel tank and an engine. Cool. Alright, let's try to get back to the rover. Let's pump the brakes. ESA and Roscosmos. ESA and Roscosmos working together, huh? That's cool. And they're launching a rover together. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. I want to know more about that. Let's get everything ready on this rover. Energy is looking good. There was a rock nearby we need to scan. There's a wheel. There's a decoupler kind of rolling across the ground over there. That one's starting to settle itself, I think. Let's go exploring a little bit. Wow, that's... How many kilometers? Like 7 kilometers away? That debris is, at least. It's cool to see all this debris intact. I'm gonna leave it. I'm not gonna destroy it. I'm gonna leave it here. At least the major stuff. See just how much of this stuff actually survived the entry and the landing. And we'll go scan that rock over there. That's pretty cool. I'm very shocked that this actually worked in one go without fully testing it and taking it to Duna before doing the stream, honestly. There's some of the parachute parts. Man, that is wicked. Alright, there's that decoupler still wheeling and dealing over there. Let's head over to this rock and see if this rover arm works the way it's supposed to. I tried to test it on Kerbin and on the Mun, but the vehicle kept moving, so it kept canceling the scan, which was kind of aggravating. But I think it'll work better here on Duna. At least I hope so, right? Just an ESA and NASA according... Okay, so NASA's probably launching the vehicle to land and collect the sample and then launch it back to orbit. Whoa, there's an incline. So they're probably doing that, and then the ESA vessel's collecting it and launching it back to Earth. That's a very, very ambitious mission they have going on there. I can't wait. I cannot wait to see that. That's in like 3 more years though, right? Are they gonna launch that surface collector this year while the window's still open? I can't remember. Is that debris or is that a rock? I think it's a rock. I'm not sure if we can actually scan this rock. It's one of the tiny ones. Get nice and close to it and find out. Hey, the vessel is not moving. Good. So it might actually scan it. it for Mars 20. Ah, that's a shame. But we still have that one rover launching soon. That'll be cool to watch. Hey, I can scan it. Okay, let's see how this works. It's gonna hit the ground. Ah, I knew that was gonna happen. Not enough ground clearance. Man, maybe we can find a better angle to take it. Kind of go over here a little bit and then back up a little bit. Sample fetch rover ESA. Really? Sample return lander is the... Okay, so I had it backwards. The best two space agencies on the planet. I mean, I love Roscosmos. But, gotta root for NASA and ESA. Come on, scan that thing. Scan it. Yeah, look at that. Mission success. Get that scan. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's keep it. Earth return orbit ESA. Mars ascent vehicle. Man, that is quite the, like, different levels and tiers of cooperation there. Alright, I'm gonna drive over to the debris of the crane, and I'm gonna park the rover there, and that'll be it for this mission. It's gonna be a bit of a drive. Actually, not as much of a drive as I thought. It's only like 1 kilometer away. If that is the sky crane debris. I'm pretty sure it is, right? Yeah, because all that debris over there was from the descent vehicle. So this won't be much of a drive. This thing I know for sure can handle at least 1 meter or 10 meters per second in speed. Lander in the map. That is going to be all. I hope they have some great onboard cameras for that so we can watch that vessel launch. It's going to be like the size of a, probably like the size of a pickup truck, right? Like, or like a limo, like that rocket that's going to be in it. Oh, it's so complex and so ambitious. I can't wait to see that. And I hope there's great onboard like camera action going on so we can get some good views of it. Go in one launch. That and like maybe there could be some other vessels on the surface that are like watching it too, so we can have multiple angles to be able to view from. It'd be really cool. It'd be really nice to have like a live video feed if we have like the relayability. ERO will be an entirely separate ESA launch. This is going to be so complex though. Like the whole mission itinerary, it's very ambitious. We are reaching the threshold on our surface speed. Let's pump the brakes. What do we have left over here? Oh, that's right, it was just the tank and the engine. That's all that's left of the sky crane. And I'm gonna park this somewhere a little flat, so I don't have to be concerned about it. Let's see, right over there looks good. I'll just take it over here and park it. Hoping the microphones on Perseverance rover work for the EDL. Same. Alright, I remember first time hearing seismic activity as well as the atmospheric sound of Mars. That was incredible. That was pretty incredible. You know what, I'm gonna go park this over here where the descent vessel is. That'll be a nice place to park it, I guess. And that'll wrap it up for this. I might actually fool around for a second and launch some of the other stuff that I have made in this box of sand file. Some of the stuff I haven't shown online yet. I've only shown a little bit on Instagram or in our console community. So I might do that before going offline. It's only close to 11 o'clock. Yeah, it's only 10:40 here, so then after that I'll be hopefully wrapping up the last of the Outer Wilds, but that'll be a no mic and no cam stream like the rest of those have been. Getting closer. Let's pump the brakes so we don't bunny hop here. Let's park it right over here beside that. Man, this mission went really well, and I'm so happy that a lot of y'all got to actually like hop in and chat and got to check out the mission, and just glad how everything went. And can't thank you all enough for joining in and getting to see all this. It's been really fun. Alright, I'm gonna update the quick save and get rid of quick save 1. And let's head to the tracking station to get rid of some debris. Some of the smaller debris so there's less clutter. Hey, thanks for joining me, dude. Thank you very much for that. It's been a pretty rough year. I know I haven't really been doing a whole lot, but I don't know. Just doing what I can, really. Alright, there's some debris I can get rid of. Perseverance Rover debris, 8 parts, that can stay. This one's a 1 part, the mass is 0.08 tons, I'll get rid of that. And what about this one? We have 0.03, let's get rid of that. It's 0.2 tons, I'll keep that. 0.01, I'll get rid of that. 0.01, get rid of that. 0.01. A lot of tiny debris. 0.01. 0.08, I might keep that. 0.08, 0.08, 0.08. There's a lot of 0.08 going on here. I'm gonna get rid of those. Really appreciate that. It's really don't want to get into it a whole lot on a live feed or anything, but it really hasn't exactly been getting better. Not sure if it's been getting worse. Been pretty quiet about it, but I'm trying to wait it out, see what happens, see where things go, and just doing what I can. It's been good to have a vacation at this particular point, but that's going to end after tomorrow. I had to go back to work Tuesday. But, I don't know. Oh, no, you're fine, dude. You're totally fine. I really appreciate every bit of everything, especially the last, like, 5 months now. Even before that. Alright, so that's it for the debris. Got a couple left there. The larger pieces, that's what I was aiming for. Just keepsakes to have on the surface of Duna. Leave the tracking station now, update the save, and check out the other vessels, see if there's anything that I haven't covered on a live stream or anything. Let's go ahead and update the main save, and then update the quick save. Alright, is there anything else I haven't shown on a live stream? So, relay, that plane, that space plane that I took to Eve. I don't recall if I streamed that or not, actually. I I think it's actually landed on Eve still. And there's the rover that I launched to Duna before this one. How about from the runway? There's the plane when I tested it. And there's the rover that I sent to Duna. I'm going to fool around and launch that space plane. Actually, if I can take a look at it on Eve, if I did land it. Let's see. USD1 relay. The UDS1 was splashed down at Eve. I didn't land it, but I did splash it down. It'd be cool to actually have one landed at Eve. I know why now. Because there was an oxidizer in the atmosphere at Eve, so I couldn't fly it. So I could actually take it out to Lathe and fly it there. But I'm not sure that vessel, that launch vessel for it, is capable of taking it out to Lathe. But I will load up the UDS-1 that splashed down at Eve to take a look at it. It was really cool getting to fly it for the limited time that I was able to at Eve before having to splash it down and glide around. I got it pretty close to the shoreline, but not close enough. I remember sharing that on Instagram and in the Facebook group, but yeah, it's pretty much a drone plane. Rapier engines. Had to use the chutes to land it because I ran out of fuel. I think it still has some liquid fuel. Yeah, that's it. It was really fun getting to fly a plane at Eve though. Don't really get to do that often. Show off some stuff. Alright. Let's see. Let's see what I can do. Let's go back to the Space Center real quick. Stretch these feet. Look at the feet. Okay. I still have to do an Outer Wild stream, but I have all night and I'll probably be up until like freaking 8 o'clock in the morning again, but I don't know, just I'm restless. Haven't been able to sleep much. Vacation's not helping. Let's go to the launch pad and go to the UDS-1 and the VAB and let's take a look at it and see just how capable this thing is. I might try to take it out to Lathe if I can. I don't have any relays out there though, and this thing is completely drone controlled. That'd be bad, actually. I should not do that unless I send a relay out to tell you what I will do though. I will launch it here at Kerbin. This thing has some mad Delta V. Mad Delta V. Why not switch infinite fuel on just to fly the Eve plane for a moment? Good call, because this is my box of sand file, so I don't really mind doing that. And I already have all the trophies, so it doesn't really matter. Man, look at this beast though. I want to launch it real quick, and I'll take it out to Eve, and I'll enable infinite fuel and start flying once I get to Eve. Look at the view of the pier. That's kind of funny looking, ain't it? Okay, let's launch this thing out to Eve. That'll be fun. Alright, let's return to the Space Center. And I did not launch it from Kerbin, I don't think. I think I launched it from the Mun when I launched it to Eve, honestly. So I didn't put the aerodynamic cones or anything on it. Let's go to the tracking station, set up a transfer window to Eve with the Mun. I will do a Mun launch, get this thing out there. It's like the exact opposite of where it needs to be. Good thing about Eve, where it's closer to the sun, or Kerbal, it'll wrap around way faster, so this won't take too long. Actually, you know what? You're right. I'm just going to go straight to Eve and hop in that vessel, activate infinite fuel, and see if I can get this thing off the surface of the water. Excuse me. Let's see if we can do this. I was supposed to quit smoking like 2 weeks ago, but I decided not to. Alright, so pause. Up, up, down, down, left, right. And let's unbreakable joints, no crash damage, ignore max temperature, infinite propellant, infinite electricity. And that'll be good, right? Let's take it and run with it. Oh boy, okay. Throttle down. That wasn't supposed to happen. Alright, you know what? Throttle up. It's not like we have to worry about that, to be honest. Yeah. It's quite controllable. Yeah, I honestly don't think I'll ever be able to at this point in life. Let's see, where can we go that's interesting? Which way are we heading, actually? We are heading towards the dark side. We need to turn around, don't we? See that tiny little island over there, though? I kind of want to fly to that. Let's alter the trajectory and try to fly to that island. Isn't that the truth? I couldn't imagine, like, being at Venus and trying to fly. God, the pressure and the gravity. Being that close to the sun, too. Oh, Lord. That'd be a trip, though. It'd be pretty cool. It'd be awesome if we could pull it off. We're about to have our first vessel to ever fly on another world, though. That's pretty cool. Can't wait to see that happen. How's that trajectory looking? Straight to the ground. Okay. I think I need to aim a little left. Oh, man, it does not like this. I can get this thing into space. This is ridiculous. I never really fool around with debug, honestly, so it's actually pretty cool. It's pretty fun. Real good. This helicopter thing. Might get away with a propeller. You know what? I bet we can make it work now. So we're supposed to be sending something to Titan to fly around, right? I think. I want to say it's Titan. It's supposed to be the, gosh, I can't remember what it's called now. That little drone copter they're supposed to be sending out that way. How's that trajectory looking? I need to aim to the end of that island, or that coastal line. I need to be in line with the end of it to make it out to that island I'm aiming to explore. Flop below the G-forces. Okay, sorry about that. It does that every now and then, something going on with the PS4 here lately. Alright, that should be nice and in line with the destination. Just need to get that balanced with the horizon. There we go. I'm actually surprised it's able to pick up this much speed. If I take it to a higher altitude, definitely pick up way more, but it's actually running out of fuel. Is that right? Yeah, but no. That's weird. Huh. Alright. Oh, it's gaining. It's gaining delta V. Okay, that's interesting. Well, we are gaining altitude too. Let's do a time warp. Need to do a time warp on this song too. It's depressing. spacesuits and flapping to fly. Did you ever see the Europa Project movie? I think that was a Titan. Had a very interesting plot. If you haven't seen it, I totally recommend watching it. It's kind of a B-rate movie, but it's still a good one to watch. Now we're picking up speed. The Europa Project. Man, that is really picking up speed. Whoa. That line. Yeah, we'll make it to that island in no time now. Gotcha. Definitely check that out. It's a bit cheesy and a little bit B-rate, but it's worth it. Should start to, there's the island. Yeah, I should start to be able to see the island. Just gonna wait until we get over there and then I'll cancel the time warp and fly on over to it. Grab a beer real quick while it's doing all that. Oh, don't fall off. Don't fall off. Okay. Oh, flying safe. Yeah, right. Totally not on that right now. Alright, where's that island? There you are. Oh no. Oh no. Alright. Oh, Nelly. Oh, Nelly. Oh no, this is not good. Okay. Let's deactivate those engines for a second. Stabilize. 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 Okay, reactivate. This is not good. Alright, let's just let it do its thing. There. Alright, now we're good. I think. Yeah, okay, we can manage. It's gonna nose dive right into the ocean. Now we're good. Okay. Sorry for the sounds as I drink. See if we can land this thing on that island. Very true. I want to see some more action from NASA and all the other space agencies in the Jupiter system. I want to see some crazy pictures and video. It'd be really cool to put some boots on ground. SpaceX. They're aiming for it. I hope we can pull it off within this lifetime. Get some starships out there. Put some boots on ground. Starting to lose too much speed. Get that up to about half throttle. Yeah, it is a moon. I didn't want to say anything, but totally meant what, understood what you meant to. You're having a very late night. So it's probably like what now? Close to 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. I think it's 3 o'clock, right? Just doing a nosedive and off back on day shift, Friday to Monday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. How long are those shifts? For 12 hours. Oh, well, you got 3 days off too. That's a good trade-off. But so day shift is more like sunrise to evening, like 5 to 5 or something. 4 days, 5 to 5 on day shift would be pretty ideal. That'd be pretty cool. There's night shifts, so 12 days off. Oh man, that'd be pretty sweet. This is such a big island. Days 6 to 6. Nights are 6 to 6, yeah. Getting off at 6. Getting to enjoy the evening for a little bit. Just in time for dinner. Helping the kids with the homework. That'd be pretty nice. Let's try to land this thing somewhere. Say right up there on the top of the mountain would be kind of cool to do. Let's go to the highest peak here. Actually, let's go this way. Try to get a view of the ocean. Try to get a good spot for like a nice sunset, sunrise view. Maybe with an ocean view for it too. Maybe a cool way to end this before taking a quick break and then going to Outer Wilds to try to finish that up. Have you checked out Outer Wilds, dude? Or gotten to play Outer Wilds? Not sure if you caught that or not. Have you gotten to like check out or play Outer Wilds? Need to kick those lights on. I know I have lights on these. I put lights on everything. Yep, okay, cool. Try to land this thing down here. Oh, you're good, dude. Never have any reason to apologize with me. Nobody ever does. Always real groovy about that. Have you gotten to check out Outer Wilds? Or gotten to play it? Ooh. See if you recognize this. Song for this point in time in this. That's cool that you can do that with your work PC. Really curious if you've gotten to check out Outer Wilds or gotten to play it though. Such a good game. If you haven't gotten to play it or check it out, you totally should. You would really enjoy it, I think. Like everybody into space and that are space enthusiasts or excuse me, anything that. Outer Wilds, definitely have to check it out. This is an untitled SpaceX song that they've used for some of their launches. That Space Eccentrics, he uses it for his channel theme. Bought Outer Wilds, played it for a bit until I acquired a ship, but found it a little boring. Once you get your ship in Outer Wilds, that's when the game really begins. So you can like start exploring all the other planets and moons and stuff. It's fascinating, like all the lore behind it, the stories. You have like 20 minutes each cycle before the star goes supernova to explore as much as you can to connect the dots and figure out what's going on in that world. It's so good. It is so good. Oh, you might be thinking of Outer Worlds. Outer Worlds, the first-person shooter RPG game, or third-person, a little ship computer as well. Yeah, that's from the original creators of Fallout, who did Fallout New Vegas. That's Outer Worlds. Outer Wilds. Totally different game. Outer Worlds was okay, it was kind of boring, but Outer Wilds, oh my god, dude. It's a very profound experience, and totally recommend checking that one out. There's supposed to be some new DLC and update content for Outer Worlds, though, that's got a lot of people hyped up too, though. Yeah, totally play Outer Wilds, dude. I'm gonna be streaming it here shortly, until I finish the last 2 trophies, but I have a whole playthrough, that I did that should be at the top of my page, before this stream, if you want to like peep it and check it out, but definitely don't spoil any of it for yourself, because the story is phenomenal, and I totally recommend, as a person who doesn't mind spoilers, don't spoil it. It's so good. You have to really like immerse yourself into it and really get into it and enjoy it. I don't want to spoil anything else about it, just it's such a great game. Nice. Yeah, totally get that, dude. I will even like go out tomorrow and get a PS Store gift card and give you the code for it, just to get you to get it and play it. Oh, thanks, man. Don't spoil it too much for yourself, though. You, like, anybody that I recommend playing it, like, don't spoil the story. You have to experience it for yourself and make all the connections and everything that you need to get to the end game for it. Man, it is such a good game. Like, top tier, top 10, both top tier, top 10, like, as far as space games go, like, right up there with, Subnautica, Elite Dangerous, No Man's Sky, I consider KOTOR a space game, all of those, like, all of the top tier space games. Just don't spoil it too much for yourself, man. Don't spoil it too much. Yeah, some trailers, that'd be good. The whole concept, like, you start the game and you're a part of the Outer Wilds venture. Let's get some time warp and sunset sunrise action going on here. You're part of this Outer Wilds venture space agency. It's kind of ragtag, very limited population within a very crazy star system with some crazy planets and moons. And this ancient race that was exploring your star system to try to find something very unique and profound, and it has a lot to do with quantum physics, and you have to discover and proceed off of what they discovered and try to like build on that to find what they were after. And you have this craft that has pretty much infinite fuel to explore the entire system with, and it's kind of like a lunar module in its design, but you have to like go out and explore and do some discovery work and connect some dots to figure out where you need to go next. And I don't know how to explain it without spoiling it too much. Like, there's, I don't know, like getting to experience the worlds for the first time yourself is pretty special. But trying to not spoil it, I can say that there is a planet with a black hole at the center and a very like brittle crust surface around it that like over time falls into the black hole, and where those parts of the crust go is still within the system. The Hourglass Twins, there's a sand planet and a planet similar to like a Martian desert. Any repetition like No Man's Sky? Not really too much repetition. Loved No Man's Sky at first, but it got repetitive. Definitely not repetitive like that. The gist of it, as far as the repetitiveness might go, you have like an activation point very early in the game. And once it starts, it loops 20-minute cycles. And you have 20 minutes or so to go out and explore and find more information to lead you to what you're after. And at the end of those 20 minutes, something happens that you have to see for yourself. And then the loop starts over, and you get to go out and keep exploring, finding more pieces to the puzzle. It's all physics, quantum physics, and relativity related, and lore driven. Like, you really have to get into the explorative spirit and read a good bit. Like, there's no voice acting. I don't know, it's just so profound for an experience for anyone who loves like science and space and exploration, open world, flying a spacecraft to different worlds and exploring. It's like No Man's Sky without the repetitive, redundant mining and crafting and all that. You have everything available to you right out the bat. You can even finish the game within like 10 minutes if you know what you're doing, but you'll spend a good 30, 40, 50 hours if you try to explore every part of the game. There's some comedicness to it. There's some very emotional love story-esque stuff that you can discover in certain logs and so on that you'll come across and read about the ancient species that you're trying to follow in the footsteps of, in a way. I don't know, it's just, you have to play it. You totally have to play it. And it's grounded in physics when you're flying and going from planet to planet. Like, the planets are very small, but it oftentimes feels like flying this plane in space and hopping to another planet within minutes. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty wild. Like, totally lives up to the name Outer Wilds. Like, it's so good. It's so good. I will find out the price on the PlayStation Store and buy a PlayStation Store gift card first thing when I wake up tomorrow, and get the code for it and send it to you and buy the game for you. That's how much I want you to play this, and I'm gonna do it. And I'll send you the code in Messenger, and I really hope you enjoy it. right? They're very small, but they're very intricate and complex once you really get to exploring them. Like, they pack so much content into these worlds, especially one called Dark Bramble. Um, Honestly, all of them. Dark Bramble, Giant's Deep, the Hourglass Twins, the Ash Twin, and the other one. Uh, God, you can really get lost exploring these worlds with only like 20 minutes to explore them with each iteration. In fact, now that I've had like plenty of sunsets and sunrises and a 2-hour stream here with this, I'm going to cut the stream now and take a very short break, like 5 minutes, and hop onto Outer Wilds and start streaming it. We'll have a nosy on the PS Store. Nice. I'm gonna get a hold of that price, get a hold of the card, and send that to you tomorrow, first thing. As soon as I wake up, no telling when that'll be, honestly. It depends on how late I'm up tonight again, but yeah, I'll do that. And I'm gonna hop off real quick, take a short break, come back, hopefully do my final Outer Wild stream, and check it out, dude. I'm just gonna be exploring, doing random stuff, not really story related too much, more like a wrapping things up kind of thing, but yeah, I'm gonna get off and I'll be back with that. Totally, dude, thank you. And thank you for chilling this whole time. I really appreciate that. I hope you had fun watching and enjoyed the Eve stuff too. Thanks for recommending that I do that. But yeah, I'll be back shortly. And to everybody else that watched and that will be watching, thank you. It means a lot. I'm still working up something special for the 100 subscriber hit that I just had. And follow me on Twitch. I'll be starting to do some stuff on there too. Same name, everything. But yeah, I'll be back soon. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the journey. Hope you learned something. And as always, peace out. Thanks again, man.